Morning, everybody, and welcome to the very first Cakeface for kids. My name's Laura, and this is Reily. Say hi, Reily. Hi. So today, what we're going to do is we're going to start very simply, and we're going to make some scones, aren't we, Reily? Do you like scones?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Only chocolate scones.
You only like chocolate scones. Well, we're going to make plain scones, and we're going to add little different bits to it. So we have some cranberries. Yep.
I love them.
Do you? And we have some blueberries.
I don't like them.
Oh, right, you don't like blueberries. Chocolate. Do you like chocolate? Yeah, great. And some pecans. So we're going to do different types. Pecans are nuts, sweetheart. Oh. So when you make scones, what do you think you need, Reily?
Flour.
Yeah, flour.
Hey.
Flour,
Salt.
butter, baking powder, and eggs. So we have 500 grams of flour here. We have got 100 grams of butter, and we use salted butter here because there's no salt in the recipe. We have baking powder, and that's what makes them rise up nice and big, doesn't it? Yeah. And we have 2 eggs.
Can I mix it up?
You can do the mixing, absolutely. So we have 2 eggs, and that's basically 100 grams of eggs. Each egg weighs 50 grams. Yep. Then we have some milk, just plain full fat milk from the carton. Or you can use buttermilk if you prefer, but we're going to use plain milk, right? Yeah. Okay. So this is how we start. We have our flour already sieved. We've got our butter nice and cold, and it's in chunks. So what we're going to do is we're going to put our flour in here. Will you help?
Yeah.
Okay, so reach over here now. Let me put that in there. Now, you don't have to use a mixer if you don't have one at home. We're going to use a mixer because we're kind of cheating, aren't you, ready? Okay. So, flour gone in. What do you think we'll put in next? We'll do the baking powder next. So we have our baking powder. You can, and that's 27 grams of baking powder. And the recipe is available on our website or on the Savour Kilkenny's website. Whoa, we lost a little bit of baking powder, but we'll grab that up. Just like this. Hand in. Do we have clean hands? We already did our hands, didn't we? Perfect. So, now we're going to use the paddle attachment here. We're going to pop it on like this. This is a little bit tricky. So we're also going to put our oven on, and we cook our scones at 170 degrees for about 14 to 16 minutes in the oven, in the big oven, isn't that right? Yeah. Hold on now, Mummy's going to do that a little bit. So what we're going to do first is we're going to mix the baking powder and the flour together, correct? Yeah. So we're going to give it a little squidge. Now, if you were doing this at home, Reily, we don't have a mixer at home, do we? So we do it by hand. So we just mix it all up in a bowl, don't we? Yeah. Right. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to add our butter. Now, you want to have nice cool butter because you want your butter to mix into your flour so that it's in tiny, tiny, tiny little bits. So I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of handful out. I'm going to go like that. Can you do that for me? Yeah. Mix it around with your hands. Perfect. And that will make it not be so sticky. Yeah? You don't like sticky hands, do you? Not so much. Okay. Now we're going to go in the bowl. Ready, steady? Ready, steady. Sticky hands. Would you like to wipe your hands? Thank you. So we're going to put the mixer on for a couple of minutes. And what you want to do is you want to get your butter and your flour mixed in together really carefully so it's only teeny tiny little bits. Is it working? Yeah, going well. So next, how many eggs have we got in there? How many? 1, 2. 2 eggs in there, just regular egg, medium eggs. And we have our milk. So it's only 5 ingredients, isn't it? That's pretty simple. And then, as I said, you can add anything you want to scones, can't you? Yeah. So we have blueberries, we have cranberries, we have chocolate, milk chocolate, pecans. What else are you putting scones, do you think? Apricots, raisins, all that kind of stuff. We'll get apricots in the next time we make them, I think. Right, so in our bowl, we've just got isn't it a nice, now it's all mixed in that butter? Can you see? Yeah. Perfect. What we do next? Eggs. You put them in, real careful, pour them all the way in there like that. Oh, we forgot to squidge them up a bit, didn't we? That's okay, that doesn't matter. Can't really go wrong with scones, can you? Because they always taste good. Yeah, perfect. Now, next thing we're going to do is the milk. So this is all coming together nicely. Will you do that really carefully? Hang on, hold up for 1 minute for Mom, please. Right. So, what you want to do is you want to get a nice soft dough when you make scones. So we're going to pour it in like that. And sometimes you might need a little bit more milk and sometimes you might need a little bit less. You want to get them nice and soft. Is it coming together? Think it's right? Will we stop it? Now, at home, you would have just done it in a nice big basin with your hands doing this, don't you? Make it all crumbly with your hands like breadcrumbs. But because we have our mixer, we're doing a little bit cheats. So, absolutely. So this is a little bit dry for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a little bit of milk and I'm going to add a little bit extra milk to that. Will that work, Reily?
Yep.
No problemo?
No problem.
Sounds good to me. So, pop a little bit of milk in the end, like that. Yep. And then we're just going to mix it around. Good job? Okay. So I have a little bit of extra flour here, and that's for dusting. So we put that down here. Probably need to put some on our hands also, don't we? So that it doesn't stick, isn't that right? So I'm going to scrape it all off. Yeah, absolutely. You can have your bit and I'll have my bit. How about that?
Oh, look.
That's okay. It's meant to be like that, isn't it? Right. So we have it all off there. Get rid of all our dirty stuff out of the way. Daddy can clean that up later, can't he? Hold up now. Right, there's our dough. Okay. Need more flour? Perfect. A little splash of flour. So we don't do an awful lot of kneading. You just want the dough to come together. Just like that. Isn't that right? You want some more flour?
I don't have enough flour.
We can share it in a sec. I'll do this bit and then we can add what are you going to put in your scones, do you think? Chocolate for Reily. So we just got plain milk chocolate drops. You could just cut up a bar if you had it. You know, cranberries as well. Okay. So you want to push your dough out like this with your fingers and you put all those chocolates in. Put them all in nice and quick. There we go. Is that enough? So push them all down there like that. So Riley's going to make her ones there and I'm going to make my ones blueberry, I think. How about that? Blueberry and plain. So we're going to cut the dough into two. We'll do some plain and some blueberry.
One for you, one for me.
Perfect. So I'm going to squish my blueberries down. You don't really like blueberries, do you?
No.
You love strawberries though, don't you? You could do strawberry scones as well, couldn't you?
Yep.
Or raspberry.
Yep.
They'd be nice. So we have our blueberries in there. We need a little bit more flour on that. When you have a nice soft dough, it means your scones will be lovely and moist and they won't be dry. So we'll leave that one there and we'll leave this one plain. Right, how's your dough going? So I don't do an awful lot of kneading and I don't really do an awful lot of rolling either, do I? I just get my rolling pin now. And we have different size cutters. Are you going to do big scones or small scones? Okay. So a good idea is to put your scone cutter beside your scone dough and then you can decide, that'll give you the right height for it. I'm also going to dip my scone cutter in there so I have it ready to go. There. This is what we're going to put them on. How are you doing, miss? Yeah? Now you're going to roll up your scones so that you can cut your dough out. So we roll it up here like this.
Then we have more.
Yeah, now. So do you want to do small scones or big scones?
Small ones and big ones.
Okay, well, how about you do that one and you use this cutter and don't you tap it in there like that and you cut away there. I'm just going to roll mine a little bit. Push it together. Oh, good job. Perfect. Now you push your scone to get your milk. Now leave that one to one side. I put it over here in our tray and you can do it up, mix it all together again. Right, so I'm going to cut our scones out here. And when I cut, I just push straight down and then I pull the dough away so that you get a nice shaped scone. Perfect, honey, perfect. I need a little bit of flour on my dough here. So bring the dough back around together again, pat it down. You don't even need to roll this one. And push again straight down and pull the dough away like that. And I'm going to give you that one. You can have that dough and I'm going to cut my blueberries out. Right, how are we doing? Good. So straight down with your cutter, pop out your scones. And that will be lovely there. And if your scone cutter is getting too dry or too wet, just pop it into your flour. Now, you're adding more chocolate, I see, are you? Fantastic. Right. I think I have maybe one more scone to do. So, as we said, we cook these in the oven for about 14 minutes. So what we have to do next, are you going to do my painting for me? So we put a little bit of egg wash on top to make them nice and brown. We don't have any sugar in our recipe. So what we do is we put sugar on top. So egg wash is a little bit of egg and a little bit of milk or a little bit of egg yolk and a little bit of cream, whichever. It doesn't, there's no real recipe. It's just to make them nice and crispy. Have you got more scones for me, honey? One for me. Okay, super. So once we have the egg wash on the top, to make them nice and crunchy, what we do is get a little bit of demerara sugar, dip it in like that, and pop them on. Now, what do you think, Reily? Yep, good. Okay. And do you like watching cooking programs on TV, Reily?
Yeah.
What's your favourite?
Jamie.
Jamie who?
Jamie Oliver.
Ah, Jamie Oliver. Reily likes Jamie Oliver. Does he have a son who cooks with him?
Yeah, Buddy.
Buddy, that's it. Right. So there we go. There we have our scones ready to go in the oven, just like that. So they'll be lovely and crunchy. I know, I'm going to put yours on now in a second. We're just going to get these ones into the oven first. How about that? So guys, that's a very simple scone recipe, which is a bit of fun to do together. And then lovely to cook for breakfast. So we're going to pop these in the oven and then they'll be out and about. You want to get them nice and brown. So we have a couple here already.
Mommy,
Yes, honey.
one.
Oh, your one there, yeah. You can have your one there and we can paint that up. Now, so this is our finished result. So what you're looking for is a nice crispy top. This one was chocolate and pecan ready, I think. And a nice brown bottom. So, and they're nice and regular and they'll be delicious. So folks, thanks for joining us this morning. Say thanks, Reily.
Hi.
Thanks. We'll hopefully see you next week. Will we do another one next week?
Yeah.
Do you know what we're going to make next week?
Huh.
Chocolate spread. Do you like chocolate?
Yeah.
So we're going to do our homemade Nutella, we're going to do homemade peanut butter, and we're going to do homemade nut butter, which is kind of for grown-ups. But Nutella's for the kids, isn't it? So see you next week, 10 o'clock. All the recipes are available on Savour Kilkenny website, on our own website, cakeface.ie. Give a big wave. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.